Welcome to Atlantis Foundries. Prior to arrival, please ensure that you have read, understood, signed and forwarded to our offices the written agreement with regards to Section 37.2 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act 1993. You will be required to undergo a mandatory breathalyzer test, and you will need to formally sign in and will receive a contractor's badge, which should be kept in sight at all times. You must also ensure that you have all relevant personal protective equipment required to undertake your contracted work, including, where necessary, overalls, hard hat, ear protection, safety glasses, dust mask or high visibility jacket. Please note you will need to wear safety shoes, and the wearing of high heels, sandals and shorts is prohibited inside the plant. Your safety is our joint responsibility, and our long-term target is for 0 injuries at the plant. Once inside the plant, always walk inside the walkways behind the marked lines and be alert to the presence and potential hazard posed by forklifts. Walking outside of the marked lines is prohibited, and contractors must stay within the designated area of work. Pay attention to safety signs, each of which is located in the specific area to which its rules apply. There are 5 types of signs throughout the plant: informing signs, which are green and white, prohibiting signs, which are white with a red line, warning signs, which are yellow and black, mandating signs, which are blue and white, and finally firefighting equipment signs, which are red and white. Avoid areas where grinders and welders are working, as sparks can be hazardous, and do not walk or stand under suspended loads. Do not touch any production equipment, product material or waste that you are not authorised to work on, and respiratory equipment, for example dust masks, must be worn in designated areas where indicated. Contractors must comply with Atlantis Foundry's lockout procedure before any repair work can take place on machinery. The machinery should be completely isolated and work done following liaison with your Atlantis Foundry's representative. Only Atlantis Foundries may approve a request for isolation, and no one may work on any faulty machinery until the specific lockout procedure for that machine has been completed. Only once the apparatus has been isolated and the lockout tag set in place may the equipment be inspected. Lockout tags may not be tampered with and must stay in place until work on the machinery is completed. Always stay alert and aware of your surroundings when working on heavy machinery, and once work is completed, do not restart the machine but liaise directly with your Atlantis Foundry's representative. Please note that before commencing any welding, cutting or grinding, you must obtain a hot work permit. Likewise, any work which is to be completed in elevated positions requires a working at height permit. And finally, should you be required to work in a confined space, please ensure you have obtained a confined space permit before undertaking any work. Photography and the use of cell phones are only allowed at the discretion of management, and smoking is prohibited inside the factory building and only permitted within designated smoking areas. Alcohol, weapons and drug use are also prohibited, and contractors must undergo a compulsory breathalyzer test for alcohol upon arrival, and random drugs testing is undertaken at the discretion of management. The Atlantis Foundry's clinic is only available to Atlantis Foundry's personnel. However, should you sustain an injury on our premises which requires immediate attention prior to transfer to a medical facility, please proceed to your nearest medical station, where immediate first aid will be provided by one of our qualified first aiders. Firefighting equipment is in place in each of our departments for Atlantis Foundry's emergencies. Please make sure you are aware of where this equipment is located, and should your contract be for hot work, you are required to provide your own firefighting equipment, and Atlantis Foundry's equipment is not to be moved from their normal positions when not being used. Pay attention to road signs when on the premises, including pedestrian crossings, and the rules of the road apply, as well as a speed limit of 30 km per hour which must be adhered to. Our canteen area is available to all contractors during break times, and we ask that you respect this area and leave it clean and tidy. Please familiarise yourself with your nearest emergency exit, and in the case of an emergency, contractors are to please proceed immediately to the closest assembly point or meeting zone for roll call and identification purposes. As contractors, Atlantis Foundries requires your cooperation to ensure that your actions do not have a negative impact on the environment, and that you ensure all waste is disposed of off-site and responsibly, including hazardous and non-hazardous waste. Under no circumstances may liquid waste be disposed of to external drains on site, and copies of formal waste manifest documentation must be provided. Contractors must also remove their own waste off-site in accordance with waste legislation requirements. Contractors are asked to please ensure that all taps are closed properly after use and are not permitted to waste water, wash vehicles or hose down equipment when on site. Should you identify any leaks or damaged pipes, please report these immediately to our administration offices. Thank you for your time and cooperation. Atlantis Foundries, innovative expertise.